wasn't expecting anything less.
So, but here's my new question now. I mean, we basically talked about all the games. I didn't watch the Jaguars versus Ravens game. I decided I wanted to go to bed earlier that night. But
yeah,
Cowboys and Dolphins play this week in Miami. Since we both since both of us actually still do believe that both teams are kind of fraudulent, does one beating the other one even prove anything at that point? It's like, to me, I don't know if I get proven anything by either one. Like, Dolphins can't beat. I mean, I think it'll look way worse for the Dolphins, honestly, if you lose at home. Especially the Cowboys team that is only losing on the road.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like it looks worse. Like you said, the Dolphins lose, but I mean, honestly, I think it's more on the Cowboys because the AFC there is very, very open. In the NFC, we already know there's only 3 teams. Well, I guess now I'm going with 2. There's the Eagles and the 49ers, but somehow Cowboys keep getting lumped in as that third team, right? So if Cowboys, if they can't be at least competitive, then all hope is lost. Then it's basically we're just going to have to wait for the 49ers and Eagles in the NFC Championship. But if the Cowboys can at least be competitive, then we can kind of lump them back in. And then on the flip side, if the Dolphins at home, if they can keep that show going, I don't know if Tyreek's going to play or not. My guess is he's probably going to try and play because I saw the video on Twitter of him walking. He looked like he was doing all right. Probably just want to give himself like a week in between games because, playing the Cowboys is a more important game than the Jets. But if they can still do what they can to any other team on the Cowboys at home, then I would feel better about the Dolphins, but I wouldn't put them on the same level as, I don't know, the Ravens and the Chiefs.
I mean,
I feel like that's safe to say.
Pretty much, if the Dolphins lose, that just the Ravens are number 1 seed at that point, in my opinion.
Well, I think the Ravens already. I mean, they beat the Jags. I think the Jags. I said it last episode. I was like, I think the Jags is the only other team that has a recipe to beat the Ravens, and I think. I mean, the Jags, I'll go over the game a little bit. I mean, I watched most of it. I watched up until the third. I just think the Jags they spent too much energy the previous week, and I think coming into this week, they probably just like a little bit too much, tired and beat up and demoralized, and they just could never get like drives going. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he was running around, but he didn't look like himself, the whole time. So
I think it has a lot to do with Christian Kirk not being there. I mean, that
as well. I mean,
that's his safety fallback blanket, and it takes a lot out of you not to have your fallback blanket anymore.
And Calvin Ridley, for whatever reason, one game he shows up, one game he doesn't, then doesn't decide to show up, and that just makes it even harder. So I think they're like one of the only few teams that has a recipe to beat the Ravens. But yeah, the Ravens is pretty much solidified. At least to me, they gonna get this 1 seed. They gonna get this 1 seed.
Yeah, now it's gonna be on Lamar at this point. It's gonna be like, Lamar, come on, we gave you first round bye in the playoffs, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. You gotta win. You gotta win one.
It'll be interesting though because they'll get the first round bye most likely, and if we really think about it, I do think the Bills will slide into the Bills. One or two things. We're moving into playoff predictions. One or two things is going to happen for the Bills. The Bills are either going to be the 7th seed or they're going to win the division. So technically, if the Bills slip in as a 7th seed, they win their first game. Then the Ravens are going to play the Bills, and I think the Bills are the other team that can beat them.
I think the Bills could beat the crap out of them, especially now the Ravens. They lost Keaton Mitchell, the running back.
They're running, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about the Ravens, but they're that team that just gets hurt right at the wrong point in time every season.
Yeah.
Beforehand, it was always the Chargers, but now the Chargers are don't mean anything. They're irrelevant now. So now you're looking at the Ravens, and it's like, dude, you're that other team that like every single year you lose all the important pieces, and then you lose the most important pieces right when it matters most. Because if I'm the Ravens, I'm not feeling comfortable at all walking into that postseason with Gus Edwards as like the basically only running back
They still have Justice Hill, right? Is he hurt?
Well, I think he's gone for the season already.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know if you watched Nightcap last night with Unc Ocho, but they had Coach Prime on as well, and he said it perfectly. He said the Ravens are good. They're not great because they're good at a lot of things, but they're not great at one particular thing. Yeah, the defense is great, but they can get beat in the secondary. Secondary is not really good, so they're good all around, but they're not. They don't have one thing they can hang their hat on. So I think he's right in that kind of analysis.
I think the Ravens are also one of those teams that they get beat over the top quick.
Yep.
Like when I see games like the Ravens, they give up chunk plays. Whether it's you get a defensive pass interference because you don't want the chunk play to happen, or the chunk play just happens. It's one or the other. But that's from my seeing of Ravens.
And this year, teams are starting to run on them. You've seen it. Cincinnati's been able to run on them. Cleveland ran on them. ETN was getting yards and not getting touched last night. I was like, wait, Jack's offensive line isn't all that good, but he's still getting like 5-6 yards to carry. Like, yeah, you can run. I mean, the Ravens gonna be the number 1 seed, but they're not gonna be like a super threat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about some of these other what we predict. I mean, we got three more weeks left. So we both agree the Ravens are going to be the 1 seed most likely. Let's go down the list. Kansas City, you think they're going to be locking up the 2nd seed?
I think Kansas City gets the 3rd.
Oh, okay. So who's 2nd?
I'm pretty much going to go Dolphins.
Nice.
Unless the Dolphins, and the only reason I say this, I think the Dolphins probably beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And with that Cowboys win, it might be one of those situations because I think the Chiefs have one more loss in them. I think the Chiefs lose one more game. I just don't think the Chiefs are that good enough a team to run into the postseason with a 4-game win streak. I don't buy that at all. I feel like they got one more loss in them. And then in which case that gives the Dolphins a little bit of an edge over the Bills in like the last week of the season, in which they don't have to play anyone or they don't have to go as hard. But anywho, I kind of got Ravens, Dolphins. It either goes Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, or it goes Ravens, Chiefs, Dolphins. I see the Jags, just hanging up their hats and saying the 4th seed is ours. It's not what we wanted, but it's what we get, kind of thing. I don't see anyone catching Cleveland for their 5th seed. I think Cleveland's pretty much safe at home for their 5th seed. I agree. This is where it becomes fun of who's 6th seed and who's 7th seed. I think that most definitely the Bills make the playoffs. So I'm going to put the Bills at the 7th seed because I don't see that they can become the 6th seed. But either way, I don't think 6th or 7th seed really matters too much. I have it finishing out Colts and Bills as the final 2 spots.
All right. I have Browns. I have Jags at 4, Browns at 5, Bengals at 6, and Bills at 7. I think because the Bengals have.
Now, you went from saying that the Bengals weren't going to win another game all year to now saying they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a big turnaround. I think. Listen, hey, Jake Brown's been cooking, and I was ready to. I was ready to throw in the towel after the first half because I was like, hey, he's not playing too well, letting Mullins freaking outplay him, but he stuck with the game plan and made some good passes. I mean, especially that pass to Tyler Boyd to kind of ice the game. I mean, that's all I needed to see. That's the type of throw that only a few quarterbacks can make. The good ones, the Pats, the Joes, the Dak Prescotts, like all those elite quarterbacks. Like once I seen that, I was like, all right, this kid's legit.
You got Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns left.
Steelers are cooked. I think the Chiefs is a toss-up, and I think the Browns, they're going to beat the Browns.
All right. The only reason I went Colts is I just feel like the Colts. I mean, outside of that last loss they had, they were on a 5-game winning streak, and they lost to you guys, obviously.
Yep.
But the Colts' final schedule is Falcons, Raiders, Texans. And no offense to you guys, but that end of the year schedule is just way more manageable.
Nah, they probably
a lot
gonna
less heavy hitters because they're gonna absolutely destroy and just trounce the Falcons. Falcons are just not good. Falcons basically just got sent home packing and have basically no will to live anymore.
I think the Colts are gonna probably lose 2 out of the 3.
The only one I can see them losing to is the Texans, and that would be the final week of the season, which may or may not matter to their seeding at all. But I don't see them losing to the Raiders, and I don't see them losing to the Falcons, especially not losing to the Raiders at home.
Yeah, I think I got them losing to the Raiders and the Texans.
Man, the Raiders just aren't that good, man. We think they are. They just put up 63, but they didn't. They put up 63 on a bum. Okay, they put up on bums.
Not the bums.
They put them up on bums.
NFC. Let's go through this. I got the Niners at 1. I got Eagles at 2. Lions at 3. 4. I'm gonna stick with my preseason pick. I think the Saints are gonna win the division.
Tampa Bay all day. Saints aren't gonna make the playoffs either. So Tampa Bay is gonna finish in 4th. 5th seed's gonna go to the Cowboys.
Them boys.
I'm actually gonna lock in the Rams at the 6th seed.
Yep.
And I'm gonna throw it out there, and I got Seattle finishing in the 7th seed.
All right.
If Seattle doesn't make it, give me Green Bay. I just feel like Seattle's got a good enough team to make a 7th seed. And then take on they're gonna take on the Eagles and get slapped up hard.
Get slapped around. Yeah, I got Cowboys 5th. I got Rams at the 6th seed. Rams are playing as good as anyone right now. 7th seed, I'm going Packers. I think Gino's too beat up. He's too beat up. I don't think he's probably gonna try to play tonight, probably not look good and set himself back even more.
Well, he's already been rolled out.
Oh, okay. So
they rolled him out this morning.
So with that being said, I think Green Bay. Green Bay just has to play well. Jordan Love is playing well. The rest of the team just got to follow his lead. If they can do that, they're gonna take that 7th seed.
One notable name that's not playing tonight is Darius Slay.
Yeah, he had a surgery. He had a little cleanup surgery, but he's gonna be back. I don't get how you gonna have surgery and be back in like 2 weeks. Like, what the hell? Like, isn't that crazy?
I think it was
It was like a knee surgery. He cleaned up his knee. Something.
Yeah, I think it was like when basketball players get their knee drained and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he has surgery. I think for the knee drain, they just stick a needle in you and just get the fluid. My knowledge of what I was reading on it is, it's basically just a little bit more thorough of a knee drain. Like they just went in there and just basically cleaned it out a little bit, cleared it out. Like, I think they were saying like they might like cut some cartilage out or something that was messed up. Something that'll affect him later on down the road. But yeah, that sucks, bro. But I mean, he's gonna be back in a couple weeks. They probably don't need him. They're probably gonna win. They're probably gonna win out. So
yeah, I think they'll be okay with that, huh?
Yeah.
Just gotta survive for a little bit.
Most definitely. With that being said, that's week 15, and that's our playoff predictions with 3 weeks left. Coming up next. Hello there, and welcome to the MTL Sports Podcast. Thank you for watching this video clip of one of our most recent episodes. Please drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section below, and also please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with the most recent MTL Sports Podcast content. For those that don't know, we are also available on Spotify for those who listen audio only. Once again, Thank you so much. And this is the MTL Sports Podcast.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here.